Good morning, guys. All right. So CPI getting a lot of people excited. The market's ripping, right? Yesterday, we did mention that if we do get a gap up, that would be great. If we got a gap down, it would have been very hard to trade the markets, right? But on a gap up, it's much easier to trade because you can just wait for strong resistance points, not just any resistance point, but a very strong key resistance levels backed by the options data, right? At those resistance levels, you can take your short scalps and see what the market does, right? At the end of the day, you need to understand one thing. The market is ripping. I believe TNX came down a little bit. The CPA, after 40 years, since 1981, is up 8.5%. Now, arguments could be made both ways, right? Is the market going to go up in the coming months? Is it going to go down? Who cares? I have my bias, which you guys all know. In the coming months, I do believe the market is going to see lower. That's just my own bias. I don't have to be right. I could be wrong, and which is fine because I'm just trading day to day or maybe a week to week, right? So whether the market goes up or down, I really don't care. And another thing, T made a great point. What if they start, peaking in inflation? All these news come out, then the market is gonna rip higher probably, right? Let's see how they work that out. So those are good points to consider, definitely, right? And in the long run, basically what I'm trying to say is I don't want to bet on one side. I can have my bias, but again, stay open-minded. Market can absolutely go all-time highs. It can maybe drop, who knows? But this gap up, personally, the way I see my chart setup, I'm going to use it to my advantage and work my plan. All right. So CPI, after 40 years, it broke the record, 8.5%, which is pretty crazy, pretty scary. Obviously, they gave the number in line as per them, but reality is reality. How long will they able to give this in? So let's see how they work this out. Some charts on SPX. The volatility trigger 44.75. So if I go on the daily chart, I'll just quickly show you guys. Basically what I'm looking for right now, I think we should open near 44.50. We should open near 44.50 and we should get the 44.75. And then I do have this level right here, the 200 MA, which is roughly 4,500. All right. So I'm just waiting for 44.75 volatility trigger to take a potential short scalp. Scalp means I enter the trade. As soon as I get my 10-15 points move to the downside, I take my profits. I don't care what the market does after. All right. And this is not guaranteed. I will see how the market is. Maybe I might buy calls. Who knows? So let's see how that works out. And then 4,500 remains key level. All right. Under 4,500 SPX, the market is still bearish. Above, more bullish, all right, based on options data. Then we see what happens. And one thing you guys need to understand, there has been a slight uptick in put options. The open interest has been increasing lately, but now if the market rips, this entire market, the last 2 months, I have been saying one thing. I often say in pre-market that there's not enough call buying going on, whereas in March 2020 plus the last 2 years, people were buying a lot of calls. There was a massive call flows, which was driving the market crazy. All right. But the last couple of months, few months, the call buying has been died out. The stock pricing is being driven by puts mainly. All right. They buy puts, they build negative gamma, market goes down, then they recover it, they close their puts, they take the market back up. So it's mainly puts that are in action that are making the market go up and down. When I say the market is being driven by puts, that does not mean bearish. It just means that on puts, buying and selling, closing options, that's what's driving these many of these moves up and down. All right, you guys have to understand these things. So now there has been a little uptick in puts. What happens at the open? If they start covering more puts, there's a closure. Let's say people want to go long, all of a sudden the market is going to rip up higher. So this gap up, they might even hold it and the market rips. All right, so who knows what's going to happen? Something like this is possible. Just an example. I don't know if this is going to happen, right? The market gapped up huge and then it just ran all day. Can this happen today? Can it go through 200 MA? I don't know, right? But so far the pre-market action is very strong on the CPI. Amazon's up huge. A lot of tech is up huge. So I'm just going to wait it out for the first 10-15 minutes, see what the market does, see how it plays out. And the higher the market goes, I think is better for me because I can adjust my positions or add on to them. But for now, 44.75 is what I'll be watching on SPX, and then obviously 4,500. Failure of 44.75 hold, or if it gets rejected and it comes underneath towards the 50 MA, then that obviously will not be good. Then the market is signaling weakness. So keep your doors open to the upside and to the downside. Let's see what happens. Well, Q, same thing, right? SPX, I mean, the charts are pretty similar. Here it looks pretty bearish. Now we might go test the 50 MA, maybe above it, see what happens. Qs are actually up a lot pre-market, I believe. And let's see if we do get the 50 MA, can we hold above the 50 MA, right? And then we see what happens tomorrow and Thursday. All right. And some charts that I want to go over. Crowd, we went over Friday. We spoke about the US contract they got on Friday, right? And it's still building a very strong base here. And pre-market, I believe, is up. Our target was roughly around 230. Now, if we can get above 230 and hold above this 200 MA, crowd can go and test 260. That's a 30-point move. 255, 260, roughly in this zone right here. All right. If it gets through here, it's probably going to go test the highs of this candle. All right. This zone right here, if we can hold above the 200 MA. So crowd, keep an eye on it. Am I going to buy right away? No. Maybe once it builds up, or maybe I see some strong flow in it, and if it catches my attention, maybe I will play to the long side. All right. Twitter, some news on Elon Musk. Obviously he rejected his seed. Now he can obviously buy more, as we know, right? His stake is not limited. Maybe he can control majority of the company, and there's so many theories out there. So let's see what exactly happens. But Twitter is simple. As long as once it gets above 50, I will look into it. For now I have my leaps which I'm holding. So once it gets above 50 plus hold, I think that's when the move can really start above the 50 MA as well. The 200 MA as well. And then we can probably see 60, 70 very fast on this. All right, so let's see how this one plays out. And obviously the market will need to hold. Semiconductor sector, SMH, the VanEck semiconductor sector. I'm just going to go over the weekly on this on a longer time frame. So on the weekly, there's nothing bullish about this chart. There's absolutely nothing. Maybe we want this chart on the weekly. The only thing you can hope if you're bull, maybe predict an early weekly candle, right? But predictions, who knows what's gonna happen? I have no idea. The only thing you can predict here is that we're gonna go make a reversal candle, right? That's fine. The reversal candle is made, but you just also have to understand that it's bouncing off a very strong support, so it's holding. It's just holding on to this support. It's knocking doors on it. So in the longer picture, it's not really too good. If you're trying to catch the bottom here, you want to go long, be very careful with it. You might get the initial bounce, but then they might take it back right down. All right, so just again, stay open-minded. If we do get the reversal this week, they might take it back right down. However, if we close to a downside, then that's just that's nothing but bearish. It's just telling you that no, we're gonna dump this thing, right? Then the next level we have on SMH, right, is roughly right here. This zone right here, this bull flag breakout, which happens with 214, 210. Believe in the impossibilities, expect the unexpected. If you guys go back in history, and I've been repeating year 2000 a lot lately, a lot of companies looked great. Their future was bright. Cisco was one of them, right? Their future, IBM was one of them. They look like they're gonna own the world. IBM is gonna go to 1,000. Somebody, there must be articles. But what happened for the next 20 years? Those stocks have not moved. I'll just go over IBM for example, right? On this weekly chart, this stock has not moved for God knows since 2011. All right, since 2011, for the last 10 years, the stock has not moved. In fact, it's building a great base now, right? Or maybe in the coming years, it'll be a great pick. But the stock did not move for so long. All right, you guys spot some similarities here, right? A lot of chip names look like this. Can the chip names go sideways for the next 5 years? It's absolutely possible. Can they rip through this? It's absolutely possible. Can they come lower? It's absolutely possible. All I'm saying is make sure if you're buying something, if you're going long on something, if it's a day trade, great. Then my comments don't mean shit. Then because day trading, you could be the biggest bull, biggest bear every day. It doesn't matter. But for long term, the reason I'm not swinging any calls because I'm scared, or not scared. I just want to manage my because Nvidia, if you look at it from 2016, I don't know how many of you guys know this. But from 2016, Nvidia's up from 14 bucks, it went to 360. It's up 2,000, 3,000%. Can it continue higher? Of course it can, right? But I just want to keep something in my mind. I want to show you guys, when you buy long equity, that the stock can go sideways for many, many years. Just make sure you guys understand this, because that will help you with your position sizing. Equity, I think this is a great skill and point on Nvidia. Like personally, if I was to buy equity, I'm someone that I love. A stock that I love, I would probably scale in small here, and then after 3-4 months I will scale in again. After 3-4 months I will scale in again. For equity is great, these dips. What I'm here talking about the options traders. Many of you guys might want to buy leaps because the last 2 years market conditioned you that we only go up. That's how many of your markets are conditioned. And pick any stock that was running, right? Pick Jumia for example, right? That the market runs any stock you pick, right? So don't expect the same rips again. It's gonna be hard. All right. So manage your size is my what I'm trying to say. Race. Bucky pointed this chart out of Ferrari race, and wow, Bucky. So I do like this chart just by looking at it, and I think once we get the reversal Bucky on this name, I think it comes back and retest this 50 MA. This is the weekly chart. Let's go on a daily, and the daily just holding above the 200 MA looks very bullish, and we have seen it lately that many bull flags that look like this, they fail them. So me, I would just wait on it until a 4-hour confirmed reversal, work your volume profile on it, and then we see what we get. Right now it is at hard resistance, so if it can get about 210, 214 maybe we can start building a small short position for a retest, right? But again, if it holds above 214, 215, this zone, it continues holding above it, then I 220, 230, 30 is also not far. All right, but I do like it. I think they have a dividend coming up and they have earnings coming up in May, so let's see how this plays out. But I do like the chart overall. I think at resistance, so we can probably short this, right? And then yen, this is China bullish, right? 3x I believe. I know some people in my group play it. So Bucky, I do like this chart as well, but overall this is down a lot on the Chinese name. If I was to play yen, I just play equity long term. Options I would not touch. That's just my own personal experience, because if you see it, when it goes sideways for many months, right? And I just don't want to be stuck in it. But if you do end up catching the bottom and it gives you a little spike, you'll make a lot of money on your options, right? But personally, it looks great. There is this gap fill to a down. Excuse me, guys. Kind of cold. There is a gap fill to a downside. So let's see how this one bases. But I see what you're seeing to go long here, but at the same time, I just want to give it some more time. I think China's going to need some more time. And then we have Amazon absolutely ripping. Premarket, right? Huge rip. It's right at the 50 MA. Do we go above it and continue higher? Let's see. I have no idea. Amazon, I don't play too much because it's just stuck in this sideways. Yash has been nailing it. Congrats, Yash. He caught this entire little bit of a rip, and he caught this entire downside move. Right? Took options from $7 to $100 here on Amazon, so which was amazing to see. So let's see. Tech is ripping right now. Does it continue to hold? No idea, right? Personally, for the first 15 minutes, I'm just gonna wait. Unless I see a very strong resistance level on SPX, then I'll take my scalps. We've been doing great on live chat. Pay attention to T scalps, pay attention to LB scalps. They're very fast. And Bucky's comments, right? G Money is giving you some great comments in the chat, right? And RD, right? All these guys are participating. So pay attention. HK Kemani, amazing. And that's it, guys. So let's see what we have here. And this gap up I consider a gift for myself, and we go on from there. See you guys in the chat.